Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 288. It's Friday here in Cincinnati. It is beautiful, sunny, blue skies, chilly as all get out. It is so cold. When I went for my run this morning, I had gloves, hat, not a jacket, like one of those running sweatshirts. I mean, it's cold. It's cold, but it felt so good to be outside. I took this awesome picture of this field at the top of the hill. I've taken lots of pictures of it and shared it with all of the podcast episodes. But this one, the ground had frosted just a little bit, and then there was this mist rising because it was, I don't know, the temperature difference or something. But it was so beautiful. Everything was just this haze, and you could tell it was from cold, not from rain like over the summer. It was really beautiful. So yeah, we have a weekend arriving. The house is going to be full, lots of young ones moving in and out of the space, so it's going to be a really fun weekend. Okay, today we're going to explore this concept that I hope I can translate it well, because it kind of blew my mind when I realized exactly how it worked. So I'm going to see if I can do it justice. I'll begin with this. It comes from a quote that I read in the Bardo of Becoming. So perhaps a little background. For my birthday this year, I had some of my friends get together, and we had this beautiful cocoon of time where we really explored, what is this next year bringing? Because my birthday is in January. What is this next year bringing? And for me specifically, what am I creating and what am I stepping into? And we are almost exactly 9 months from my birthday, and it feels like this birthing process I've been in of new being created, and all these different aspects of myself coming into greater harmony, so that I'm at this place now of being ready to step into more communication, deeper communication, this portal of time that Celia Fenn has talked about, that Richard Rudd talks about, that I've talked about, where we are awakening and we are remembering more and more of who we have been, who we are becoming. At the end of that weekend, my friend Alicia said, you have to get this book. It's called Bardo of Becoming. And I've read a couple paragraphs, I think, from it in the podcast space. And when I read it, I at first was like, I don't get it. You know, the first few chapters, I'm like, I don't understand. This is a whole new language. And what is she talking about? The Bardo and all these dimensional places that don't match the dimensions the way I understand them. And then as I started to see the characters and the roles and the ways that the human journey was playing out, but from a soul perspective, oh my goodness, it became the most magical experience to read this book. And now I've recommended it to several people. It's so powerful, and it's just filled with all of these different religious beliefs or practices. It's just an amazing, amazing book, written in sort of a novel format so that it's easier to understand. So, without giving any of the story away, because I don't want to ruin the story for you, because it's just so powerful, and I don't want to take any of that power away from the elements of it. There's a line towards the end of the book, 2 lines, where they quote an ancient Tibetan monk, I believe, yogi, and the line says something to this effect: when acting and actor disappear, all actions are correct. When I read that, I had to sit really still for a little while and go, what? Because I know that, I understand that from a soul level. And yet the way that it was incorporated and delivered was so beautiful and so effective that I just got it again in a different way. So I'm bringing it into this space for guidance, for inspiration, for a mantra or a phrase when perhaps you might be going through some of the bumpiness of an awakening or an activation, so that you can remember those words and go, okay, how does that apply here? How does that apply right in this moment for me and this relationship and this experience I'm in right now as a human? When acting and actor disappear, all actions become correct. How does that apply? So, in case you're still like, I don't get it, I'm going to give you a little background. No, a little interpretation from the way I understand it. When we are souls and we decide to come to Earth and be a part of this awakening of consciousness that's happening on the planet, we all agree to do things for each other. So parents agree to create upbringings or environments for children that will give them the experiences they need so that their journeys start off with whatever it is they want to work on, whatever human thing, their emotion or process or story they're exploring. Children come in agreeing to drive their parents crazy or push against all efforts to control them, to help the parents release the need to control. They come in to educate and bring new ideas to minds of parents that perhaps have gotten limited or rigid or following a certain tunnel. We come in with our neighbors to activate whatever dynamic is playing out with your neighbors. Boundaries, space, respect for each other, respect for ourselves, our property, how we take care of the land, how we share resources. We come in with relationships already established for our workers, our co-workers, our bosses, our employees, our clients. If we work in healthcare or services, for our patients, for our service providers. There are all of these ways that in the taking on roles, 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 as humans, we bring different experiences and learnings into our exchanges with people. And we need a whole mix of them. If we only had one relationship our whole life and one person we saw and that was it from the day we were born till the day we died, we'd be very limited in what we could understand and expand into in our soul human journey. But because we live in this world with so many people with such diversity and such a range of opinions and experiences and stories and beliefs and limitations, we are surrounded with options. And so we get to start playing with different ways of doing things. We can try some on and let go of some others and evolve into a new version of who we are that is very different than who we used to be. What this phrase says so clearly is when we start to dissolve the roles, when the acting disappears, when I stop being the role of mother in the way that I have always understood a mother to act, and when acting, my role of being a mother, I stop acting like the traditional mother, and the actor, me as the mom showing up as the enforcer of the things that I'm supposed to enforce my children to do. When I dissolve all of that, and I'm simply the soul who agreed to come and play with these other souls who just happen to agree to be my children, then every single action that we have agreed to create together becomes correct. I haven't done anything wrong. They haven't done anything wrong. We're not late. We're not early. Everything is exactly as we selected it to be. There were a million different options. We could have played out any of them, but none of them are wrong. And so we just happen to be right here in this choice that brought us to this moment so that we could have this co-creative experience. When acting and actor disappear, all actions become correct. Knowing that, actually knowing that, not just hearing me say it, but if you can find your way at some point in your human journey to knowing that for yourself, to believing it in every fiber of your being, it's like taking off the shackles, throwing off the jackets, the weights, like tossing all the old bullshit to the ground and just going, yes, there's nothing out of alignment. Everything is exactly as we all agreed it would be. And every one of us in our infinite soul wisdom has been putting different pieces in place and lining up different elements and bringing them into this and this and this. And so we're all just in this journey together creating something, and none of it's wrong. Those two lines, or that one long line, however you read it, when acting and actor disappear, all actions become correct. It completely dissolves victim and perpetrator and the one who is wounded and the one who is wounding, the stories of limitation. We can dissolve all of that and simply be souls who agree to come and have very complex, integrated, very precise human journeys. And we're all learning. So why do I share that now at this time when your mind might be going, what? What? So that can't possibly be true because this person did this thing to me and I did that to that person and we can never forgive each other and ourselves and blah, life has to be so hard or so painful or so emotionally difficult. When I offer these words in this vibration, the invitation is go above the story. Rise above the story and see your life as this one long continuum from birth until death, with everything that you're going to experience in the human body, in the human relationships, in this earthly plane. And know that your soul knew all of those options before you ever arrived here. There's no victim to your own soul. You're living your soul's journey here in human form. And your soul isn't out to get you. It isn't out to punish you. Neither is God or Source. You're here for an experience. And so when you can rise above the timeline and look at it in its absolute perfection for all that you're learning and gathering, there's a way that the drama starts to disappear. And what we can elevate to or understand is we're all here with this incredible love at a soul level for each other and for this human journey and for this planet. And if we can tune to that love over and over and over again in every tiny little minute and decision and choice, come back to that belief that we're here for love and that we're, in whatever ways we're playing it out, ultimately coming back to greater love, co-creating greater love. And that's the whole reason why we're here. If we can tune to that over and over, acting and actor disappear and all actions become correct. Every single action becomes correct. Then life just becomes more pleasurable, more joyful. And that's what this awakening that Celia Fenn and Richard Rudd and I and many others, this great transition, this great change, that's what it's all about. It's about remembering that underneath everything is love, always. And the more we tune to that and come back to that, every action we are taking is correct. So we can just start to surrender into the beauty of the human experience and start co-creating from a higher consciousness, from a higher connection, which is love, not fear, not victim, not hurtful, not pain, not wounding, love. So yeah, it's so simple, it is sort of mind-blowing. And when I read those lines in the book, I'm like, no, 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 no. It's that easy? It can't be that easy. I bought into the whole story of the whole book. Like, what? What? Yeah, when we go back to being souls, I guess I'll just name it right now. When I become an infinite soul, when I return to just being an infinite soul, and I'm not in this human body as Vivienne, and I'm sitting out in the universe somewhere, one moment, at some moment. I can't even say one day, because in the universe there's no days. When I'm sitting out there, and you also decide you're done being a human and you evolve into being a soul, come find me and we will sit and we will have a telepathic conversation. And you'll go, oh, I remember that one time on the one podcast where you said that line and you said how simple it was and then it blew your mind. I didn't get it at the time, but yeah, now that we sit here as souls, like, I get it. I get it. Yes. I can feel already the joy of those moments that will just be full of laughter and connection and harmony and love. And we will look at these human journeys and go, oh man, we made it so hard on ourselves. Why did we have to do that? Why, And also, I guess we're still learning. We're always learning. But perhaps this phrase, this mantra, this wisdom from an ancient Tibetan yogi can guide you when it feels real that everything's hard and painful and it has to be that way. Maybe this little mantra can create a new possibility for you. So one more time. When acting and actor disappear, all actions become correct. All actions become correct. I send you off into your weekend with infinite love. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.